All right, we're live here on YouTube. What's up,
guys.
everybody?
How's it going?
Good evening. Welcome to episode number 6. We're going to go live
back
here.
this week on camera.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties last week.
Welcome to 2016.
How do we want to start off the episode? Do you have any stories? Oh, yeah, remember Danny the other couple weeks ago? What were you doing?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I
God.
was in my
How do
little
you
world.
say his first name? Giancarlo?
Giancarlo.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, Giancarlo. Yeah, Giancarlo Stanton.
Sounds like a cologne.
We'll talk about that after we talk about the Tigers. But all right, you guys ready to go live?
Let's do it.
Steve, you ready?
Sure.
Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode number 6 of D&D Sports Chat, coming to you live from the studio here in Garden City, Michigan. I am your host, Derek, alongside my co-hosts, two co-hosts once again back in the studio, Dan Bartley and Steve Iwinski. Guys, how's it doing tonight?
Better than you.
I guess so, yeah.
They're so
tonight,
nasally.
you know, it's funny because I jinxed myself. I think even Sunday night, Steve, didn't I tell you? I think we did the whole knock on wood.
I haven't been sick
You did.
all winter.
Yep, I haven't been sick all winter. You knocked on wood, and I failed too.
yourself.
And I don't know if this is real wood, but I did jinx myself.
No, this is from IKEA, right?
Yeah, this is IKEA, but this is very good craftsmanship, even though it is not. It's not
lovely.
real wood, but it is a nice table. But yeah, I don't feel too good, but hopefully by next week's show I'll be all ready, and the doom and gloom will be all away from me, and I'll be 100% again.
And then you'll probably pass the buck along to Steve, right?
Well, I know my dad had mentioned he's like, I'm gonna Lysol the whole office once you guys leave tonight. So that's kind of
probably best for business.
that is best for business. That's reassuring.
You don't want Randy Walker getting sick.
No, I mean I don't know who my dad's
Yes,
gonna have in here.
big job.
It's
Running the
actually
city.
wasn't Mayor Walker's
yeah.
birthday yesterday? Happy birthday, belated birthday to Mayor Walker.
I don't know.
Couldn't tell
Yeah,
you.
I saw on Facebook.
Shout
Sorry, I'm friends with the mayor on Facebook. I guess you guys aren't, but yeah, shout out to
Dial to him.
shout out,
Right. Seriously.
shout out to
You're-
Randy
you're-
Walker.
You're trying to name drop. That one would be a siren on the 97.1 where Terry name drops someone. They'll pull the siren on them.
Do they really?
Yeah, they do
Oh,
like
I
a
don't know
police
if
siren.
I don't know if I missed the siren.
You're like,
I guess I have.
All right. Well, the big
Anyways.
topic right now, obviously, is the Dead Wings.
The Dead Wings. It becomes more and more true that this is what our team has become, and this is just a mess. It's an inconsistent mess, and we talked about it last night through texting. It's just the inconsistency of this team is just it's horrible, and they're lacking a certain leadership on this team where they just cannot get on this
you're
front.
going back to that, what I said weeks ago.
I'm not going to say it's all on Hendrik Zetterberg.
No, I didn't say that.
But yeah, the leadership issue is there's no motivation. This team has such short-term goals. They don't have they have no long-term as far as whatever they're going to do this year is they're going to make the playoffs. Oh, it's a 24, 25-year streak, whatever. I think I've mentioned this before, is that missing the playoffs would not be a bad idea for this team because it would make them wake up. It would have them set a goal for themselves for next year to be hungrier, and it would actually make Mike Ilitch say to Kenny Holland, all right, well, instead
Maybe you're out of touch,
yeah,
boy.
instead of just going into the offseason thinking like, if they make the playoffs and saying, oh, well, we had a down season, but hey, at least you made the playoffs. And as opposed to if you miss the playoffs, then you can say, oh, Kenny, we got to make some off-season moves. This is something that hasn't happened since 2009 with Marian Hossa, and there's a problem there. You can't expect to have a team competing for a Stanley Cup this year, next year, even a couple years from now. I mean,
but what can you really solidify doing that would make this team better? You add a guy or two. You need to completely revamp the whole defensive core. There's not a guy on that defensive end that has any upside besides Danny DeKeyser.
And the fact that you're going to put all the load on Danny DeKeyser is a big mistake too, because I mean, Nick Lindstrom had a great D-line playing behind him. I mean, that was a team that had a good first line, second line, and third line back in the day. And Dana Kaiser's good, but he's still not a veteran yet. And we don't have that guy. You can say Nick Cronwell, okay, but Nick Cronwell has had to drastically revamp how he plays now. He is not that physical presence like he was.
Way too many steps back.
He is. He's taken a back seat to guys like DeKaiser, and DeKaiser can't carry it all by himself. And Brendan Smith has been great too. I wouldn't say great. He's been good. He's been good enough to
as far
at
as
least
statistics
go. But at the same time, the power play is not getting much better. The penalty kill is starting to show some signs of life, but the goal scoring.
There's a sign of life. Want me to tell you why? This team's fighting. Past couple games, if you've been watching any Red Wing hockey, there's been some fights.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say, I'm a big old school hockey guy. I'll be the first one to admit it. I'm a slappy for old school hockey.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're starting to drop the gloves. This team needs a spark, whether it's Brandon Smith, whether it's Justin Advocator, whoever is going to drop the gloves on that particular night. I think it's much needed for this team. This team doesn't have a big force behind it. This team doesn't have that fear factor that some other teams have. No one's scared to play the Detroit Red Wings.
No.
You're going into the Joe and you're not intimidated. And it's not the Joe Louis Arena is not a hole. It's not that it's not bouncing. It's not that it's the fans. It's the fact that the team that they present on the ice is just very lethargic.
We talked about it before the show started. I told you about the whole nice emblem ticket. Terry Foster mentioning how the Joe Louis Arena is cause for concern of why this team might be slumping. He was stating
that's knowledge. That's unknowledgeable.
That is not knowledgeable. I laughed because he's saying, "Oh, this is a team that walks into Joe Louis Arena day in and day out for practice and games and says, oh, this place is a dump. I don't want to play here."
So you could say the same about Boston Red Sox. Oh, this place is a dump.
Fenway Park. But the history, how much history is behind the Joe Louis Arena? Yes, no. it was when it was built, it was way behind its time. But there's so much history there. A lot of history there. A lot of championships won there.
So then what's
it's not
the excuse
that.
2 years from now when the Wings bomb?
Yeah, when they move into a new arena and that's supposed to just inject them with a jolt of life.
I have a bold prediction in 2 years. You guys want to hear it?
What's happening?
Wings miss the playoffs?
No.
Oh.
Do you guys remember Steve Yzerman?
Yes.
I believe Kenny Holland's contract's up in 2018.
Yes.
And so is Steve Yzerman's.
Same year?
I believe,
wow.
bold prediction, Kenny Holland's going to retire in 2018, then they'll bring in Steve Yzerman to be the GM.
This has been this has been a grooming experience in Tampa Bay. I totally wouldn't disagree with that because I think I've heard things and I've even seen that this could be a whole grooming process for him in Tampa Bay. And he is not going to stop either. I mean, no matter what, but between now and 2018, he wants to get a Stanley Cup to Tampa Bay, and they have probably more of a chance of doing that than the Red Wings do.
Sure.
But the talent is there for Tampa, but their biggest player might be leaving town this summer.
Yep. There's been rumors.
Stamkos.
Yep.
So if Yzerman loses Stamkos, Bishop could be gone because, remember, the whole NHL is changing now. Remember, they're getting a new team.
Yeah.
You can only protect one goalie. Everything's going to be changing with this whole Las Vegas Knights team that we got coming in.
That's what they are, Las Vegas Knights?
Black Knights. Whatever.
Black Knights, Dark Knights. Oh, God. Just call them the Dark Knights. They'll be an instant fan favorite.
Batman theme.
Well, no one cares about that. Anyways, I was going to piggyback where Danny was talking about we're fighting, and you guys got, like, Alvocator. But where has Alvocator been when he's making how much? He just signed that $4 million. He's making what, $4 million? Where has guys like that been stepping up? I feel like we don't have the
moneymakers.
Do we even have a near 50 goal or 50 points player? Isn't that kind of embarrassing?
50 goal scoring.
50 goal scoring.
Or a 50 point,
Well, that's what guys like Datsuk and Zetterberg have downgraded to, is that it's a shame that we don't have anything better than a 50 to 60 point score on this team, playmaker, whatever you want to call it. So I really don't know. I think we've talked about guys like Nyquist having to step up. We've talked about guys like, Tatar, which he's been showing signs of life.
Your secondary scoring, though, is not getting the job done for Detroit, and that hurts you, especially when Dylan Larkin, as hot as Dylan Larkin was in the first half, you all know he's going to cool off. Yep. And if you don't know that he's going to cool off, you think he's going to continue this marvelous ride all through the season, then you're drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit too much.
We actually have a guest on the phone, guest 4. Who's this?
Steve, shut up.
Steve, do you know who this is?
I think I know who it is.
It's Chris. What's up, you guys?
I didn't see you signed in as Nickelonio, so I wasn't exactly sure who it was. You kind of came in there under the radar.
Crickets.
Yeah, I guess he came in under the radar there.
No, the only reason I said shut up, Steve, is because that was the voice I heard when I called in.
No, it's all good. What's on your mind? Hey, don't dial tone, Chris.
Don't doubt someone.
Yeah. No, he was doing the dial tone on you.
Don't doubt someone.
Oh, well, I heard you. What were you guys talking about Applicator about?
Well, I just said about Albuquerque, he's making $4 million, and he hasn't been, producing as much as you would like him to, in my eyes.
We're not paying.
Cycle is live. Is reborn.
We're back live. It's all right, Chris.
All right.
Go ahead.
Tim Allen.
Yeah, really.
The comedy
Oh,
section.
God. We got entertainment safe for
But,
later.
Chris, as I was saying, is it really worth it to go in the 7th, 8th seed if you're just gonna be marked out in the first round?
Is it really worth
God, this is going off the rails.
That's Jeff Blashill's reaction when he sees
Yeah,
that he
right.
plays the
Yeah.
Capitals.
Yeah.
That's his reaction.
I'm meaning,
death
is it
sentence.
worth it to make a 8th or 7th round seed if you're just gonna get a first round exit? Oh boy.
Okay,
Derek looks like he's got a pee over here.
I'm really sorry that I'm like cracking up over Tim Allen.
We're supposed to wait till he gets here
I'm
for
sorry. Oh, my God. Oh, live radio. Oh, look at
Derek's tearing up over here.
Oh, God.
So am I, man. I want to
that.
talk.
Hey, can we go to the phone lines? Cue the phone lines.
What's up?
Is anyone on the phone lines?
I don't believe so.
No, just Chris.
No.
Oh.
No, I want to know if anyone out there is
Is that-
listening. Nope, it's dead.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we just lost a bunch of our listeners.
All right, so rephrase your question again.
All right.
And let's no Tim Allen.
All right.
All right, let's-
I got you. I got it.
Comedy session's over.
Yes.
Breathe.
Everybody take a deep breath forward.
All right.
You're saying we can make it in a lower seed, whatever. But if we lose in the first round, is it really worth it?
Is it really worth it? I'm not really quite sure.
I mean,
Like,
we talked
kind of
about this
difficult.
already. I just wanted to get your.
Is this a team that deserves to make the playoffs right now?
No.
I think so because we're better than most of the teams. I mean, you could say the same question against a team like Philly and
The Islanders.
whoever's close with us. Are they willing to get past the first round playoff?
I think I think the Philadelphia Flyers can take the Washington Capitals 6 because
I think we could too, to be honest.
Yeah.
depending on health, Peter Mrazek's health is a big question. They can wishy-washy all they want with the whole illness situation, but it's a groin situation. He's not 100% healthy.
Right.
The goaltending situation is a problem. Defensively is a huge problem. Goal scoring is a problem. The Wings are trending down and down into the deep, shallow, black hole that there is in the ocean.
I'm kind of starting to question the lack of urgency for this team, too. Jeff Blashill, we haven't talked about Jeff Blashill being on the hot seat yet, but this is kind of a topic, whereas this is
He's not.
and I don't think, we're not going to put him there, but at the same time, is like the sense of urgency for this team, I feel like, is just not there. We're in the home stretch now. We're in the final, 9, 10 games
9
of the
games.
season?
We can't put it all on the coach.
No, we got 5. Not that it matters, but we got 5 home games. We got Montreal, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Minnesota, Philadelphia at home, and then the 4 road games: Montreal again, Toronto, Boston, the Rangers.
It's not easy.
It's not
The schedule you just said doesn't sound promising.
Yep, a lot of original, mostly original.
You
6
said you
teams.
still believe they'll make the playoffs. Chris says they still make the playoffs. I still think they'll make the playoffs, but it's not going to be an easy road ahead.
I have them missing the playoffs because the fact that I see Peter Mrazek being hurt a little bit more than that the Wings are letting on to.
Which is why I was kind of shocked as why they brought him in last night. I mean, obviously they sent Jared down to Grand Rapids, Was that possibly too soon? Should they have kept him up here maybe one more game? You think it was smart bringing Mrazek in that backup role after Howard got pulled?
You can see how he.
I don't think Jared was even going to get a chance anyway.
No, they're not going to slot him in. Anymore.
That was just a way of moving Mrazek aside while he battled the flu. Well, he has the flu and then he has the groin problem. So,
yeah.
I don't know, man. It's really I'm just getting so damn fed up, and it's very frustrating. I want to say that this team makes
it's very painful to watch Red Wing hockey.
to see where it's gone, and
It definitely is, and I think it's almost like it's all we can always talk about is the bad.
yeah,
Well, I think
easier
it's
to
more
talk about
painful because they have so much talent.
yeah.
I see loads of talent. It's just
and
not. It's not
utilizing.
clicking.
Yep, it's
yeah.
not being utilized.
It's
and
not
they're
utilized in the right way. The lines
Yep.
don't match up. There's no chemistry. But there is tremendous amount of talent if they can get cylinders fired.
And I think the switching of the lines has been kind of a cause for concern too. Is that I get when you're a first-year coach and you don't really have the chemistry that you want. You want to juggle up the lines and you want to start things, but at the same time, you got to think of the long-term, what it's going to do to the team long-term as far as consistency. And I think that might have a little bit to do with the consistency woes of this team, is juggling the lines a little bit too much.
I mean, I think for such a young team that we have with all these rookies and everything on our team, I think we're doing pretty well despite that. You know what I mean? Like, most teams in this position would even be, like, close to a playoff spot.
Yeah, at least we can say that we haven't rebuilt. Rebuilding is kind of like if
We're
our record.
rebuilding on the fly, right?
Yeah, if our record was more so like the Toronto Maple
Yeah.
Leafs, that would be rebuilding. But the fact that we've been in the playoff hunt the entire year, now we've kind of flirted with being in and out the last few games, but still, I kind of like what Dave said. Rebuilding on the fly is kind of the way that we're doing it right now, and it's going to come down to game 81, 82. I really think that we're going to have 2013 all over again. But this is a team that also played very urgent, with a sense of urgency in 2013 when they knew that they were on the outside. They had to win games, and they did it. I want to see this from this team by next week. I'm sick of coming on these shows. This is like, I think, our second or third straight show where we've come on after a very heartbreaking Red Wing loss. And so it would be nice to come on the show next week. It's also the week of WrestleMania, the Walking Dead finale. You know, it'd be nice to actually talk good news about the Red Wings.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
after every Red Wings game, I want to break something.
Well, I think we'll know more next week of are we there or are we not at all.
Yeah.
Considering playoff wise, I mean.
That's what Jeff Blashill does every night he goes home.
Hey, Chris,
Yeah, what's up?
let's segue into the Pistons talk.
Yeah,
Okay.
Are they making it or not?
that's another team on the cusp.
Another
Yeah.
team on the bubble.
I don't know. It's always like off and on. Like, they'll beat
I know.
teams and then
They're
they'll
another
lose
weird
against
team,
the
dude.
ones that they should beat.
They are one of those teams that have the talent, but it's like they play to the level of their talent. I feel like a lot of times. I feel like I want to punch Derek square in the nose.
Why?
Your face is really irritating me.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to punch me?
I feel like their talent, is.
Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze.
Oh my god, dude!
Jesus.
All right, they have. Yeah, seriously. That really helps.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like they play to their level of talent, So if they play like a bad team, they'll play bad. If they play a better team, they'll play better. And that's just a tough. They're a learning team. They're on the cusp, but I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. I still say no, but you
the
said
Pistons, or
I said no to the Pistons.
well, what are they now? I think do they have a game in hand? They're still
I think
hanging
they're
on.
right on.
They're either a game or half a game.
I don't know for
they
sure.
got 8 because they're 2
Pistons and
games
Wings
over.
both missed the playoffs. I would say
Ooh.
Pistons make the playoffs.
Over the Red
I would
Wings?
say, isn't basketball a little bit easier
To make
get
the
into the playoffs than it's
Oh,
not?
yeah.
they're-
More under 500 teams make the playoffs in the basketball. I mean, it's happened before. I think the Pistons have a better shot at it than the Red Wings. It's just as close.
Maybe
but,
we won't have that April in the D promo.
oh, my God. It'll be just strictly Tigers.
What are they going to do? With the horrible overplayed song
What
that
are
you get
they,
every
wait,
year.
what are they going to do?
We could play an April in the D song.
They change it up every year.
It'll make you happy.
They change it every year.
I just love when they do the April and the D, so I hope they don't stop that.
Yeah.
But Chris, what is your opinion on that? Do you think they will, or do you think they won't?
Personally, I can't. I don't know. I feel like I can't give a good explanation because I haven't really been catching the Pistons.
All right, I got another question then.
To really,
Steve.
give a good explanation.
All right, that's fine. I got another question. Who do you think is the best Detroit? I said this one last week. Who do you think best Detroit coach is? Detroit sports.
Like ever?
Of all?
No, currently.
Just currently.
Between the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, and Red Wings.
Yeah, because I said Jimmy Harbaugh, but that doesn't count.
No.
So.
No, college doesn't count.
I said Stan Van Gundy.
That's who I said.
Like, I guess I'm trying to wonder, like, just my personal favorite out of them, or is there a reason as to why I'm picking one?
No. Who do you think?
Who do you think?
Who, if you were to pick, who would you want what coach would you want leading your professional team in Detroit? Who would you choose?
Who do you think is the most overall?
If I'm picking my professional team, like, Blashill is good with hockey, so obviously I would choose him with hockey. You know
that's
what I mean?
not what Derek didn't word it the right way.
No, what I'm saying is that as far as experience-wise, who do you think is the best overall Detroit coach?
Oh, experience-wise?
I mean, yeah, you can choose to be a favorite if you want to pick.
Blashill and Osmus both have very little experience.
I mean, if you're going off experience, I guess wouldn't that be Caldwell because he's won a championship?
That's your opinion.
That is your opinion. I would put Caldwell second, in my opinion, to Stan Van Gundy. I just feel like Stan Van Gundy has been around the game.
I mean, Stan Van Gundy has taken the Orlando Magic to the championship, but he lost.
Yeah, so, I mean, you could say
And
either
then
one,
again,
but
you got Blashill who took the Griffins to the Calder Cup, and he won. He's won at every level that he's won at.
So, you would say
it's
Jim
kind of
Caldwell?
difficult to say. I mean, I don't know. I guess being biased because I love hockey so much, it'd probably be Blashill.
I can respect it. I get what you're saying. I wouldn't choose him. I would probably put Blashill at the end of the list.
Small sample size for Blashill.
Yeah, only because he's won everywhere he's gone, but he still has not yet to finish the 2016 season with the Red Wings, his first NHL team. So obviously, I can't throw him under the bus because it's his first season. But I mean, he does have a lot of potential.
To you guys, it'll be intriguing right now that I haven't heard anywhere else.
So with that logic, why is Van Gundy the best if he's just been a failure for the Pistons? He's never made the playoffs yet.
Well, the Pistons, he kind of
building a team.
Yeah,
and he has the background and experience of building a team.
Yeah.
He's been a general manager, and now he is here.
So you answered your question there that Van Gundy is the president of operations with the Pistons.
Well, that's my opinion.
Just the coach, you know what I mean?
That's my personal opinion. Yeah.
Right, I get that. It's just one has more creative control than the other, is what I guess. I guess I
that's true.
by the
You
question.
can argue that.
Yeah,
he has more control over his team when, like a Blashill doesn't.
Yeah.
I get that, or Caldwell.
The Pistons, actually, that's the only team where he actually has a head coach and he's the head of the
It's
operation.
tough. It is a tough question.
Yeah.
But Danny had another one.
There's many different directions where you can go with that question, but I guess if flat out you're just asking, like, who's my favorite, I would probably just say Blashill because, I love hockey so much.
Yeah.
Switching gears.
That's the period. But if we're going off something else, I would probably say, like, Caldwell because of the experience. He's won a championship out of, like, at, like, a... Well, I don't know. It is a very good question. I can't even really give you a good answer. Good question.
Before we segue to our National League predictions, throw a name out there. Hot seat. Wings miss the playoffs. Throwing Blashill under the bus because he's your first-year coach. You've had Mike Babcock for so long. You've had epic runs, won a cup, haven't done anything lately. Blashill takes over this organization as coach. Wings bomb, missed the playoffs. I have a feeling there's going to be some people calling for his head.
Yeah, the ones that haven't been there all season, and
because the streak is over, so you got to blame the coach, right?
No,
instead of blaming Datsuk and Zetterberg, Howard.
No, I won't be that person. I won't be that person.
I don't think Blashill's fault at all if we miss the playoffs and he's in the hot seat.
They would have missed it even with Mike Babcock as coach. Honestly. Because we wouldn't have seen Mantha or Larkin on here. Just imagine that if we would have had
Larkin be playing 6 minutes a night.
Yeah,
fourth line.
He would have gotten called up maybe like a week or two ago. And
we're forgetting though these rookies that are on our team wouldn't be on this team.
Yep.
If Babcock was here.
Exactly.
So you're taking a team full of like guys who are finally getting a chance, and look what we're doing. Yeah, we're losing a lot. It's completely frustrating. Like, we've never seen this before. This sucks balls, but we're still competing, and I think we're doing a pretty good job at it despite, like, us losing. Yeah, we're very consistent, but I think it's only going to get better from here on out.
Optimism. I like it. The Wings have a young core, a lot of talent. If it all pieces together, you get chemistry. You roll with the right guys. You add something defensively. You get rid of Jimmy Howard because you can't have two
that
guys.
Contract, though.
You can't have two guys. You get a sack of pucks in a fifth-round draft pick. You need to get rid of Jimmy Howard.
You can't have two starting goaltenders.
Jimmy Howard's just going to dwindle away. You're not going to get nothing for him, but you need to try to trade him because next year, a year after that, this Las Vegas team is coming in. Can only protect one goalie.
Yeah. You can say, too, though, that, yeah, this team is built for 3 to 4 to 5 years to compete for a Stanley Cup again. But at the same time, what if we don't make any major moves? Like, what if the trend continues where we just
not going to make any major moves.
where we just want to depend on the young core that we have, guys like Nyquist, Tatar, Mantha, and Dylan Larkin? Is that going to be enough? Just because they have extra experience, I still don't see these guys scoring 30 to 40 goals.
I don't see us keep relying on our prospects for the future. Ken's the smart guy, and I know he'll make moves. And if people aren't doing what they're supposed to do, our prospects, I think he will get rid of them.
Do you think that he will? You figured Ken Holland in his he's got 2 more full seasons with the Red Wings before his contract expires, and I don't see him renewing it. Do you think he's really going to try to go out with a bang, or do you just think that he's going to stick with the core he has? I personally, I see the trend continuing with where we are, not having that urgency to make any moves at the trade deadline, which at the time we didn't really need to make any moves because we were in the catbird seat. We had solid control of that second, third playoff spot, and now we're on the cusp of missing it. So to me, it's like, should a move have been made? Should we have went after a veteran defenseman or a solid second-line goal scorer?
You tell me during the trade deadline, who could we picked up? There wasn't a good selection of people, so I'm glad we stayed pat. In fact, I think we all talked about that.
No, we did.
On one of your guys' show.
But I'm looking back now and thinking, like, even if we would have picked up a guy like a Scott Hartnell, if it would have helped any way, shape, or form, as far as veteran,
that would have been a bad move.
What do you think, Danny?
I think, like,
would it have made us any worse? Would it have made us worse? Because
I don't think he adds enough. I think you need a couple pieces. You need some help in the back end.
Defense.
The Wings need like 3 or 4 people to make this a cup contender. Scott Hartnell's a good piece, yes, but he's not going to add.
You're not going to build around Scott Hartnell.
If you can go out and get a Kevin Shattenkirk or someone like that, someone who is of notoriety on the back end, you might give yourself an opportunity. The Wings are not just a guy away from winning a cup, and that's. I was the same guy. I wanted the Wings to do something. And then I really sat down and I realized, okay, this team is not just a simple Andrew Ladd, Scott Hartnell away from winning a cup. This team is 3 or 4 guys away. The time for the Red Wings is not until the new arena. The Wings are not going to be that competitive next year. When the Wings get into the new arena, that's when you're going to see a splash. That's when you're going to see someone acquired, a big trade, something like that.
110% agree.
Because you don't want to go into a new arena where you got
excitement.
You want eyeballs on your product. You want to be the talk of the league. You want to have a competitive team when you walk into a new arena.
And guess who else is coming in 2018?
Stevie, what? Let's hope so. God, that would be a real big surprise. To some it might not be. I mean, some might be. They might be calling this from a mile away, like, oh, this is just a whole grooming step for Stevie over there in Tampa. But he's very, very competitive. He wants to win with Tampa, and they're very close. They've been close the last couple of years.
I think I just want to give a big shout out to my good friend Ryan Pletsky. He thinks the Red Wings are going to go to the conference finals.
And he also wants me to join his fantasy baseball league again.
Oh, he's going to join the
You're ridiculous.
He's joining the fantasy baseball league.
He's already in. He wants me to join his. I just can't do 3 leagues.
I don't know.
Can't do it.
Don't know about that, boy. Can we segue into baseball?
Yeah.
Chris, are you going to stay on the line or you got to
Chris,
go
I
or
know
what?
this isn't your strong suit, but I mean, we would love to talk baseball with you.
A strong suit.
Oh,
Derek,
God.
you don't know anything about sports.
Yeah, I know. What am I doing? What am I doing behind this microphone? I don't know. It'd be nice to.
Chris
have,
should be sitting where you're
yeah.
sitting.
You're hosting
Well,
the show while Danny's doing all the main things to make you look good.
It actually would. It actually would be better if you were behind this mic because I sound like shit tonight.
Yeah.
Danny's been watching me and laughing at me.
Derek's over here blowing his nose.
Yeah, I'm trying
Looks
to make
like
it
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer over here. He's playing that garbage.
Anywho's.
Tigers, man.
Yeah,
Tigers.
anywho's. Yeah, well, I know that we were talking the other day about Daniel Norris, exiting early with his injury. And as far as the time that he's had, I mean, his appearance has been very short. They've been kind of ugly. He hasn't really been playing that well. Is this cause for concern for the Tigers' starting rotation?
Tigers' rotation is going to be a cause for concern. There's a lot of question marks.
But there's a lot of depth.
Which
is something we haven't had.
And guys that you didn't expect to be pitching well are pitching well. So it's kind of breaking even right now.
It's kind of nice with because you remember when Shane Green was good in April?
Yeah.
So it's nice to have him there because I bet he'll have a good April. And then Norris can slide in, hopefully get healthy and get better.
Do you think they should send him down?
When Green falls off the table.
Do you think they should send Norris down to
Yeah,
AAA?
he's definitely going to AAA.
He's got to work, I think, a little bit on his mechanics. I think he's got to work on getting
And he's
healthy.
hurt. He might have his
Remember
DL
also
stint.
that
Yep.
He's coming back from thyroid cancer.
Yeah.
They're going
You
to
gotta
take his
ease
time
him.
with him.
You gotta ease
and I
him
don't
back
blame
in
him.
there.
What do you think, Chris?
About what?
The Daniel Norris situation.
Cricket him. Cricket his ass.
Tigers got shellacked by the Blue Jays. It was like 16-1.
Mute this guy.
You this guy.
Well, no. I totally agree with what Steve was saying because that's what we were talking about. We have depth, which is something we haven't had before.
Yeah, it may not be the best and overwhelming depth, but it's depth.
Yeah.
We have guys that we can stick in like a Green, or a Boyd or a Fulmer. We got guys that can fill the hole there when needed. And, and I'm not – dude, Norris can take his time for all I care. He's going to be the superstar on this team. I don't want to rush him. If he's having back problems, having these spasms, he's coming off, like Danny said, the thyroid cancer, that surgery. Let him take his time, groom him a little bit more in the minors.
I don't even know what my expectations are for the season. I'm enjoying watching this team play. I guess I just miss baseball.
I know
Exactly.
it's such a long winter, especially in Michigan.
We're going to miss it even more if the Red Wings miss the playoffs and the Pistons as well. So I'm ready for baseball. I mean, it's getting to that point where we're getting to the end of March.
Allergies will be on your way.
Yeah, well,
it's
let's
nice
hope I get over
because
them.
we don't know what we're going to get. It's the unexpected, In
That's the
years
better
past,
days.
it's like, oh, we're going to be great, and
then-
we weren't great.
No.
And now we're kind of in the bottom of the barrel, and I'm kind of liking it.
I
you
like
know?
question marks.
Here's the
I
thing,
like
though,
that.
that's a big concern, is you have Victor Martinez, who is barely walking.
Yeah.
He's likely going to start in the DL.
Age.
Daniel Norris is likely going to start on the DL or in Toledo.
Cameron Maben.
Cameron Maben, DL.
Yeah.
Then you're going to rely on Miguel Cabrera.
At least we're not on the Dodgers. The Dodgers.
JD Martinez. my
JD
boy.
Martinez, who's
Right.
going to have a, sorry to tell you, down year.
It's gonna. I wouldn't say it's a down year, but I think he's gonna come back to earth a little bit.
Cricket his ass.
I don't think.
Yeah, maybe Martinez will possibly lose his left leg or something.
I wouldn't go that far, but I think the numbers are going to definitely kind
No,
of come to
I
realization.
could see that definitely. He signed his what was it 2 years?
Yeah.
So he's
You're hoping that
Yeah.
he doesn't. You're hoping that he comes out and he has an MVP caliber season. You got
I
a
don't
lot
think
of
he'll
help
be-
there. You got
yeah.
a very good lineup with.
He's got
Kinsler,
protection.
Cabrera. The lineup for the Detroit Tigers is good. It's just you're going to strike out a lot. The Tigers are going to strike out a lot. Justin Upland's going to be close to 200 strikeouts. We know.
I remember when we signed Martinez, when Derek and I were going to see Dumb and Dumber 2, and when we were eating at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we both got the notification on our phone
Yeah.
that we signed him. And we were completely really excited. We're like, oh man, this is awesome news.
Yeah.
Little did I know, all this stuff was going to happen again.
See, no, I was the complete opposite.
Yeah, I think-
You signed it. You gave all this money to a designated hitter
That's aging.
that can't hit for power, can barely walk, cannot run,
No.
can only DH, can't even barely play first base.
Okay, I'm not going to poop the guy that much.
No,
I think
the guy.
I don't.
Poop him.
I didn't like the deal. Oh, okay, I wanted to let him go for 4 years. What, $80 million or whatever the hell he got? Obnoxious number. But I mean, he is a switch hitter. He can play some first. I get it. He's hurt and he's beat up, and he's still a veteran presence. So he still is capable of, leading the team and getting those clutch hits when needed. He is a very good contact hitter.
But will he play?
Yeah.
It's
all about the numbers.
He's got so much bad.
But he's older,
issues.
and no, I didn't favor the deal, but I'm not going to poop on the guy. When,
Yeah, also, couldn't he, not bring his son into the clubhouse? Oh, wait.
Cricket.
Uh-oh. Oh, man.
The White Sox look like they're falling apart before the season begins with their old clubhouse.
Just a week or so ago, they were at the top of the list of Central Division winners, and now everything
they still are.
Yeah.
But it's like you got guys like, they didn't want him in the clubhouse, the kid.
Yeah.
And then you got other guys on the other side
Oh,
saying,
he was a leader. He led this team.
Yeah, he was a kid in the clubhouse that we liked.
13-year-old.
It's like, so you kind of have a house divided, and that's never a good sign in the clubhouse. So we'll wait and see what develops there, but I could care less. They can burn in flames for all I care.
I'm going to switch off to something as far as a position on this team that maybe it might be overlooked, but a lot of people have been talking about Brian Holiday and Jared Saltalamacchia and who will get that backup.
I think Holiday should. Holiday he can play defensive catcher. Salty, he can barely throw it back to the pitcher.
Something tells me that they're going to end up keeping Salty, and they're probably going to
they are.
They're going to trade Holiday.
They won't trade Holiday.
You don't think he's going to get traded?
He'll be in Toledo until someone gets
terrible.
hurt.
He deserves a roster
we'll
spot.
Get rid of Holiday for a pick or something like that.
Well, remember, it's spring training.
No.
It's spring training. Take it with a grain of
Can
salt.
Holiday even go back down?
Yeah, look at Rayburn.
I know, but even last year's numbers, though.
Holiday isn't terrible, though. And he's decent defensively. We're Salty. I don't know why we got him. Can't play defense worth a damn.
No.
He is a good hitter.
He's a switch hitter.
Sure.
He's a decent hitter.
He's probably going to take Victor's spot,
He's got
honestly.
the longest name in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, can't even fit on the back of his jersey.
Oh, I can see him taking over the DH Victor spot and then having Holiday as the temp guy. I don't know.
I hate to get rid of him. I want to keep him in this organization.
We can't lose Holiday.
But yeah, I wouldn't say he's valuable to this team, but the way he's kind of like a Don Kelly, but better.
But like Danny said, it is spring training.
It is spring training. You take it with a grain of salt.
He's never had much time in the majors to really show what he's capable of. And that's the problem.
Maybe if he doesn't get a chance to play with the Tigers, maybe he'll win the Andre the Giant
Memorial Battle. Oh, wait.
And how asinine is Ausmus? If you guys heard his comments about he doesn't really take in the spring training stats. He doesn't care what people do. He's basically saying the lineups are already set. It's what he thinks, in his mind.
But that is true though, because spring training means absolutely nothing. Spring training is you go and get your 60 at bats.
Then why play?
You go and get your 60 at bats.
It's a refresher. It's a refresher.
I get that, but it's also for guys that show potential, that want to be able to make the starting rotation and compete and help win a championship.
Is it fair to say that guys like Holiday?
You can't say Ausmus cannot say.
I was going to say, is it fair to say guys like
this lineup is already set? This Detroit Tigers.
It's been set because of
set.
Yeah,
you're not making this team no matter how hot you get. Brian Holiday, great. Kudos to you. You had a great spring. Enjoy your time in Toledo.
But is it safe to say, though, too, guys like Holiday are playing like this is their World Series? The guys that won't necessarily make the team, that don't have it, they're showing off for other teams, too.
You are. Spring training, you're being looked at.
It's a showcase.
Everywhere. You can get moved.
Yeah.
You never know what can happen for your career. You don't want to go into spring training and bomb. It is spring training. So you don't take much out of it. Brett Ausmus' comments are whatever. I'm not going to make much of it. The lineup for the Detroit Tigers, the starting guys are set. The starting rotation, there might be a battle for the fifth spot. The bullpen is pretty much set, maybe besides maybe a roll or two.
That last rotation.
You're not gonna, no matter what you do, how well you shine, you might impress some guys. So you can be traded, or maybe we'll bring you up come September.
Yeah.
If the Tigers are crap in the bed. But there's nothing there. Great. Brian Holiday's playing well. Oh, yeah, look at Ryan Rayburn a couple years ago. Came out in spring training hot, led the Grapefruit League in home runs. Kudos. Great. We're moving on.
You got moved a year later.
And then what'd you do in the regular season? You started off 0 for 25.
Yep. Went to Cleveland, actually.
125 clip.
Not bad. with Cleveland.
And then that's just what happens. It's spring training. You don't make much of spring training. You want to go in there, get your 60 at bats, get a few knocks, get your ground balls if you're an infielder, your pop flies if you're an outfielder,
And shorten it.
and throw your innings.
It doesn't have to be so long, I don't think.
No.
Man. I just don't understand.
Hey, sorry.
What's that?
I was just going to give you guys a quick update that the Islanders are beating the Senators 3-0 right now. So that doesn't
That's
look too
another
good for the
soundbite we need. The breaking news
That's
soundbite.
Yeah, that's not good for the Red Wings
Yeah.
right now.
The Islanders without Yaroslav Halak
What's
When
that?
do the Wings play next?
Tomorrow.
tomorrow against
Montreal.
PK Subban
Possibly
He's
returning.
back. He's
yeah.
back, yeah.
will be in the starting lineup tomorrow, likely.
I'm sorry, Tim Allen, what?
What did he say?
I can't wait to talk about this later.
So, all right. Moving on.
Wait.
Let's do our prediction.
NL
Wait,
predictions?
wait. I had a really quick
Okay.
fact that was released today. The
Breaking
New York
news.
Yankees, somewhat, I guess.
Oh,
you
I
could
saw
say.
this. I did see this. Go ahead. How
know
much
what
they're
I'm
worth?
Oh,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So
No,
the
go
New York
ahead.
Yankees are, of course, baseball's richest team. They're worth $3.4 billion. That's up 6% from last year. Where do you think the Tigers are ranked? Just give a rough number. Steve, I think you already know, but Danny and Chris, what do you think that the Tigers are
I
ranked?
didn't look at this.
I didn't
article.
read the article.
Oh, you didn't? All right. What do you think they're valued at?
I'd say the
7.
Tigers are like 8th or 9th.
7, 8.
That's it. You got the Yankees, Red Sox,
It's pretty
Cardinals,
substantial.
Dodgers.
The Tigers are valued at $1.15 billion. That ranks them 14th out of 30
Wow.
teams.
Oh, yeah. I could. Yeah, that
That's
seems
a little.
sounds
That's a
about
little.
right.
But I thought that was a little bit lower. I felt like with the contracts that they have and what the team is worth as a whole, I thought maybe they'd be like up in the top 10.
I thought. That's
That
what I
seems a
said.
little bit
8,
lower.
but
Is there
it's
any
8 or 7.
smaller market teams that are ahead of the Detroit Tigers?
Yeah, who's?
Is there any like
The Dodgers are number 2 at $2.5 billion,
Yeah.
followed by Boston at 2.3, San Fran at 2.25, the Chicago Cubs and the New York Mets round out the top 5.
The Chicago Cubs are interesting. Sorry.
Miami Marlins are last at $675 million. Oakland is 29th with $725 million. The estimate of the Houston
Moneyball.
Astros value, they increased after last season's surprise. They went up 39% to $1.1 billion. They were dead last
They
year.
got to pay now.
Yep, now they're $1.1
They're going to
billion.
be paying.
Yeah.
They're ranked
They're
16th.
a little bit of a
Well,
story now.
they have butts in the seats now too. Though.
Are they
Yeah,
long term? Is this not going to be? Is this going to be like a Kansas City Royals team, or are they going to be a short term
I think
flop?
they're going to be a team that you can look out for the next couple of years. Dallas Keuchel, George Springer, Jose Altuve. That's your core.
Yep.
But after that, you're going to look at some other guys. And you're going to say, okay, who's on this team? Unless you really follow the sport of baseball in depthly, like us three do, you're not going to really know who is on the Houston Astros. Some people I talk to are like, the Houston Astros, aren't they still in the NL? Yeah, they're in the American League now.
I think that sometimes.
No, they're American League.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
They
know.
are in the American League. You got to remember that. Just think of this team being in the NL Central. With they'd be competing for that division this year.
Is there any new news on Lincecum? Tim
No,
Lincecum?
there's
Not so
not.
far.
No.
He's still out there.
I have no idea why he's not even looked at or picked up or anything yet. There must be something wrong
Is
that
there a
we don't
backstory
know.
there?
Yeah, I don't know. He's
Must
coming off
have
Tommy
some-
John.
And
And
there you go.
I thought
think
he
the
might
health
be a
issues
nice
are
fit.
always going to be kind of a.
Chris,
Yeah.
what would you think if we got like a Tim Lincecum type of player? Would you want him or not? Coming off like an injury like Tommy John.
Gosh, just a Tim Allen, man.
I know he's overusing it now.
The question was, should we get a guy like Tim Lincecum?
Yeah, would you be interested in a guy coming off injury, Tommy John, like that has the track record but may not be as good as he used to be? It's kind of one of those coin flips.
Think of it this way: the Tigers are Daniel Norris is shelved. He might be. You could be slot him in as an emergency fifth starter.
That's what
Now,
I'm saying.
You don't know that. That is the way that I see it. As I'm not speaking for you, but that is the way what I would put in my perspective as is. You could throw him in as a fifth starter if you can get him for a bargain, which you probably could get him for a pretty decent steal right now. I would say the thing is he throwing? What is his health? What is his velocity? What is his
We don't
changeup
know.
doing?
I
What
haven't
is his
heard
slider doing?
Yeah.
You don't know, and that is the biggest concern: is high risk, high reward.
Well, the
guy.
Royals were already thrown out of his private little training facility when they were trying to scout him or whatever. So
I think he's a guy that you might see come in all-star bid. Someone signs him that needs a little bit of pitching help, or a team that's completely out of it, that like the Oakland Athletics. He'll go back. He'll stay in California after they dump Sonny Gray come July.
After Sonny Gray goes to the Yankees.
Sonny Gray goes to the Yankees.
What do you think, Chris?
I really don't even know, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do NL predictions of NL MVP and then NL Cy Young. Did you want to stick around for that?
Yeah, I'll just stick around with you guys.
All right, sounds good. Well, I'll let Danny kind of lead this since it was kind of his thing, so go ahead. Yeah. What are your predictions, Danny?
The NL is a really difficult argument to be had here. The American League, you have Trout, you have a lot of guys who could easily take this. The NL is a really complex story with a lot of talented guys. The pitching staff from the New York Mets as a whole could win the Cy Young. That's a scary thought for if you're in the NL. For as far as the MVP goes, you have Bryce Harper. That's a big name there, but
Paul Goldschmidt.
You have Paul Goldschmidt. You have a few names, like Steve mentioned, Yasiel Puig, who isn't going to do anything. Or you can go into the box and you could say Giancarlo Stanton.
That's what I said.
Giancarlo Stanton won't win the MVP because of the team he's with.
Yeah.
Because they won't be competitive enough.
He doesn't have enough protection, but I believe Stanton has the most raw power in the Major League Baseball.
Stanton could hit 50 home runs this year, and unfortunately it won't mean a whole lot because of the fact that he plays with the Miami Marlins, and they're not going to be anywhere competitive this year. Until that he gets some protection, they get some talent. They have the talent until they piece it all together, add a few more pieces, then they're going to be competitive. They got a few more years. But NL MVP, I'm going to give it to Bryce Harper, as much as it pains me to say it. I think he's going to have another big year.
Yeah.
And if Max Scherzer has a decent caliber year, he could be in the race for the NL Cy Young. A lot of experts are predicting him to win 20 games this year.
I can see it happening
and
again.
You can see it happening. You can see it happening. Max Scherzer could win 20.
I think he'll decline a little bit.
I think that, he will decline. I think he'll win 15 games. I don't think he's going to be the quite dominant Max Scherzer that we're ready to see. I think he's going to
He's still good.
He's very dominant. He's not going to take a huge step back, but
we'll see how the offense is with the Nationals to see if it can produce
a
runs for him. Because that was a big deal with him last year. He wasn't getting run support.
But I'm interested in seeing this whole New York Mets star-studded rotation in action for a full season with Syndergaard, DeGrom, Harvey.
I read something that said stay away from New York Mets pitchers for fantasy baseball.
It's crazy to thunk it.
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's saying because their offense is just terrible.
Because the offense is not
and they
good.
don't get run support. I mean, I could see it that way, but I believe that rotation does have a lot of talent.
Clayton Kershaw.
Chris
is my Cy Young winner.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I was going to... Yeah, I'm not going to say him, but yeah, I believe he's a strong candidate for sure. He always is in there. Little Stafford's best friend.
So you're going to go with Bryce Harper for MVP, and you're going to go with Kershaw for the Cy Young.
I was weighing my options between Kershaw and Zach Greinke.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zach Greinke's going to have a big year.
Yeah,
with
Diamondbacks.
Not a lot of pressure there.
No.
Steve, you want to go next?
No, I wanted Chris.
Oh, Chris.
Before he falls asleep on us. Chris, do you have anyone in mind? He might not be. He might be on the toilet.
Well, go ahead,
well, as far as me, I'm trying to be a big homer to the Chicago Cubs this year. I feel like
going Jake Arrieta.
He's not on the line anymore.
Oh, he cut
Chris
out.
cut out. So,
to me, I just feel like this is going to be a big year for the Cubs this year. I'm going to go with, as far as I won't say it though for the MVP. For the MVP, I'm going to go with Paul Goldschmidt simply because he's had heartbreaks going. As far as he broke his hand. What was it, a couple years ago? He's finished second in National League MVP voting, I think, 2 out of the last 3 years. And I just feel like the Diamondbacks...
He's very talented, but you got to wonder about his protection around him.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks are a team I don't see them making a major postseason threat. I mean, they'll hang around, but I just don't see him making the playoffs.
He's definitely
but
primed.
He's
ready to go.
He's primed and ready to go. He's at the peak of his career. He's 28 years old. I think that he will be a solid threat for the MVP. So I'm going to go with Paul Goldschmidt for the MVP. For my Cy Young, I was kind of torn between Clayton Kershaw and Jake Arrieta, but I'm going to go with Arrieta. I think that
back-to-back.
you think I think that we haven't seen that happen. It's been a long time, but I think that Max Scherzer will be obviously his biggest competition. What about you? Don't think?
I would say Clayton Kershaw, Jake Arrieta, and Noah Syndergaard.
What about Jose Fernandez for the Marlins?
He's not.
You guys are forgetting a huge name. I can't believe it.
Madison Bumgarner? No.
He has my name.
I'm looking forward to seeing Steve's name. Oh, okay, I gotcha. But there's so many good pitchers in the National League, and the NL selection is relegated to a lot of first basemen. Paul Goldschmidt, Anthony Rizzo, he's at the top.
You could say Freddie Freeman.
Remember him?
You guys remember him?
Yeah, when we went to that Mud Hens game,
we could have got a Atlanta team.
Yes, and we were going to try to get a free. What was it? A free
ice cream.
Ice cream. Yes, ice cream on Freddie.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if he hit what was it? If he didn't get a hit, I think he did end up getting a hit though.
Yeah, I think he did later on.
Yeah, he
hit
a
home run actually.
That guy,
Ricky Porcello.
It was kind of cool seeing him in the minors, seeing that guy play. Man, he's definitely grown into a top tier talent. But I'm not going to go with him for MVP. I'm going to go with Stanton, John Carlos Stanton.
We talked about that. Yeah,
I agree that he doesn't have the protection around him, but I believe he has the most raw power in the Major League Baseball. And if he stays healthy, being 26, I think he's primed and ready to go with like a Goldschmidt is, And a guy you're forgetting on the Nationals,
Steven Strasburg. Are you really going to go with
that's
that?
another one? If he stays healthy,
dude, how many times has he been shut down early in the season?
Oh, well, he's healthy now,
dude.
But he's under. He can throw as many innings as he wants.
You can say this is his year, but really, coming off of 2 years,
you brought up Jose Fernandez. Jose Fernandez is still going to be greatly watched upon.
Yeah,
they want to limit his innings. Why do you?
There's
think
no leash on Strasburg now.
Yeah. That's the good thing
healthy,
about it. But then it also leaves many question marks, in my opinion. But
that's why I said if he stays healthy, I think he's going to blow away Scherzer in the rotation.
Do you think the Nationals are
and he could win the 20 games. Scherzer, I could see him behind winning 17, 16 wins. And the Nationals making the playoffs with ease. But, that's who I have.
Did we pick division winners last week? I'm sorry.
No, we're not doing that.
We're just doing
do it next week.
All right. Well, yeah, we could go through that next week.
It's just hard to predict right now. Look at the Dodgers. We just found out they lost Ethier for 12 to 15 weeks, And
the White Sox, and this is the first week that we can touch on the whole drama in the Chicago White Sox clubhouse with the son of Adam LaRoche. I mean, this has just been such a freaking tale of two tapes, I guess you could say, because you got different players saying that he was a big leader in the clubhouse. We're talking about a 13-year-old here, and then we're talking about some guys like saying, he was a pain in the ass. What I think is really, really bad is Adam LaRoche putting all of this on a 13-year-old son. He's going to get heat for this.
That poor boy has to go to high school.
He's going to be on little league teams, and they're going to call him Daddy's boy. He's going to be Daddy's boy because your dad quit because of you. I feel like that's a horrible burden to put on a kid.
It is. And
there were so many ways you could handle that differently, and when you're putting that kind of a burden on a young kid that hasn't even gotten to high school yet,
the first thing you should have handled is march right up in that GM or assistant manager's office.
What's
and
his
say,
name?
Kenny Williams.
Kenny Williams, yeah.
And say, look at my contract right here. If you're not going to abide by it and have my kid in here, when the contract says I could have my kid here playing on the field, whatever, then I want to be traded or I want to be cut or something. Not retire like a baby and put it on your kid.
Yeah.
Or he probably would give in.
His production numbers.
I just don't. I
down,
think there's a lot more to the story than it's not showing.
You can say, the guy's, he's not greedy because he left $16 million on the table.
Yeah, but I think there's just stuff that's not being said yet, and I think it will come to light later on because there's a side of the clubhouse that say, that it was a problem. There's another side that said it wasn't.
Like that would be I'm not going to defend the Chicago White Sox organization, but it would be kind of a pain in the neck every single game.
Yeah.
Road and away.
That's your job. It's not just a game. It is your job.
Can we bring our kids to work?
Not all. No, there's
kids,
special designated days for that.
You can't. I know, I get it. You're a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah.
Every day is not take your kid to work day.
No.
But I get it. Major League Baseball probably is really friendly with the kids. If you're a professional athlete, you're a man, obviously. The majority of you, unless you're playing in a women's league. But you're going to be away from your kids. You're going to be away from your wife. What's next? Oh, my girlfriend has to accompany me to every single game. What am I, Kate Upton? That's the difference between... You can't do that. You just can't. I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, needs to be... can't have no kids ever in the locker room. But there has to be something there. There has to be some give or take.
There has to be a little bit of a fine line.
There has to be a line. Okay, you can come the first half of the season, school's out, but once it starts getting to be
just get them. Just
take your kid the month of July and August,
or just get them freaking front row seats. Just cheer them on in the stands. You don't have to be in the clubhouse.
It would be an awful expensive summer there, but I guess Daddy's making millions, so it's not that big of a deal.
Whatever.
But I don't condone it, and
no, I don't either.
You can't bring your kid to work.
I think bottom line, Anna LaRoche is just being a little. So that's my opinion. I think he's being a crybaby, really.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
Yeah. Let's kind of segue off of this, and I'm gonna segue into the Craig Sager. He's now been diagnosed.
3 to 4 months.
And that guy's voice, man, he was one of the guys that would make you want to watch basketball sometimes. Like,
and his loud suits.
Man, he was a very...
As much as I I don't really particularly care for basketball, I'll be the first one to admit it.
But he makes it.
If you're watching a basketball game, who's the two guys that you know?
Craig Sager's one of them.
Who's another guy?
Magic Johnson?
No. Dick Vitale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dickie V, baby!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Those are the two names that ring a bell, even if you're not a big basketball fan. Like, I'll be the first one to test. I'm not.
Right. It's just
Just
such
like
a sad story.
And he's always had run-ins with Greg Popovich, and now it's kind of like the shoes on the other foot as far as now Popovich has been fully supporting him. They've always given really entertaining interviews, and it's just
they said it was in remission, then it came
now
back,
it's back
and then,
leukemia.
So he doesn't. What did they say? 3 to 6 months. I don't know
3 to
if
4
that,
months.
but it's
But
just a sad
that's-
story,
that
and
is a
that's another
prediction.
talent that might be leaving.
that's a prediction, but at the same time he could still fight it. He could beat it. I mean, it's not like he's totally he's not done for yet. I mean, this is something that's still fighting. Who knows? He could outlive it for another year or two.
I just wanted to mention his name and show my
bless
respect to him and wish him luck in the healing process.
Hopefully he can pull through. You never know.
Another
Prove the doctor's wrong.
I don't want to
Yeah.
stay on deaths, but how about Joe Garagiola passing away? Steve Garagiola's father.
I didn't know that name very well, but
He was one of the he played very briefly back in the 50s, and then he I guess was in the broadcast
Derek's
booth.
on
He's
Google.
No, actually I saw this on the news today.
Derek, you looking through the
all right.
the death files?
Moving on. Let's
Are you
before
serious?
before we end the show.
Damn.
Let's talk a little bit of entertainment.
And
The Walking
we
Dead?
provided that a lot in our first segment, but hey, we'll throw some entertainment. As much as I would love to talk about Daredevil for the next hour, I won't do that because these two gentlemen right here
Sorry.
haven't watched this epic show yet.
You want to touch on it a little bit?
But Chris has.
It just dropped
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Season 2 did.
I think people were way ahead of me. I think people were binge watching it. That's not Daredevil, but hey. As far as Daredevil goes, you just threw me for a loop.
Sorry, go ahead.
Daredevil has a lot of good character development. A lot of between Foggy, between Matt Murdock. There's a lot of good character development between those two individuals personally. And you got the other characters coming into play. You got Frank Castle, who is a.k.a. the Punisher.
Yes.
Played by John Bethanol, Shane from The Walking Dead. And you have Elektra, who is played by an absolutely gorgeous woman. I do not recollect her name, but for the record, you got to see season 2.
I gotta train
You
myself.
need to check it out.
Yeah.
Action packed.
But,
It's not kid friendly.
Yeah.
It is extremely gruesome, bloody, very good.
I just got to discipline myself to try to watch it.
Yeah, I'll check
know.
it out.
I got to catch
Derek?
up on
But can we
This
segue-
Saturday, Derek.
Can we segue into more beautiful woman? Go ahead, Dirk. Spoiler alert: a beautiful woman perished.
A beautiful woman?
Yeah,
Are we really going to go? Maybe if you were 50.
she wasn't bad.
Well, no. I mean,
All right, spoilers. Wait till the song is over, and then we can talk about. We're just doing this as a spoiler alert. All right.
are we going to say her name?
What was her name? I forget.
Wasn't it? Gosh.
The girl that got the arrow through the eye.
God, what was her name? Not Elaine. What was her name? Damn it. I forgot her name.
Remember, I texted you. I'm like, Derek, she's not a main character.
She's not bad looking,
But how cool was that scene, man? That scene was pumping me up, dude.
She
it
actually
came out of nowhere because
they-
the show itself
yeah.
was boring. I'm like, what's going on? They're just doing these little runs, and this is like you got Eugene, and all of a
She
sudden
has her moment,
She's
and-
having her moment, and she's
but-
talking like, "You guys got to be more brave." And she just.
But
gets
we
the
should have
eyes-
known. But we should have known
that
better.
that was
Hey,
brutal, dude. I was like, oh, fucking, that was Daryl's crossbow and all this.
we
Like,
should have
this
known
is
better.
like
That when
Daryl
she
should have killed him when he first saw it.
Dwight. I know his name.
Yeah, Dwight.
Right.
But
Denise. Denise. was her
Denise,
name.
yeah.
I do know that when you have a big moment on that show, it never ends up going well for you in the end. So, but also what I
Your
found
swan
interesting,
song is
it was
you're
her
gonna-
swan song.
And then you're going to go on Talking Dead, or maybe you won't.
She
show up on
wasn't.
Talking
She
Dead.
wasn't.
They couldn't accommodate her schedule, which was a shame because I
They
did
had
want
a
to see her.
super fan.
Yeah, that guy, some guy with gauges that's a teacher.
Yeah,
Screw him.
Looked
but-
like the Miz.
Yeah, but what I thought was
Super
interesting,
fan.
was that they actually took her death in place of Abraham's because in the
Yeah.
comic books, Abraham got the arrow through the eye.
Which,
so,
thank God.
yeah, not
That
yet.
wasn't not
Everybody's-
yet. At least.
everybody's
And how about
loving
the-
Abraham.
how
I
about-
like it. I like his snarky comments. I don't know.
Yeah.
I dig an Abraham. I feel like there's more to that character that needs to be shown, and I feel like right now that they're kind of ending that character. To me, I don't know if you guys feel that same way, but the whole Eugene doesn't need him anymore, and I feel like they're kind of bringing his character to a close. So I'm worried about his future.
Can we kind of touch on the whole dick biting scene?
Oh, that was awesome.
Eugene, it stuck true to the
Eugene's
comic
like a
book.
badass now.
That makes you belittles you though in a way. That makes you look really weak.
Well, he was he
Derek, I'm having a
handcuffed?
hard time taking you seriously. right
Sorry.
Yeah.
To those of you that obviously, should I look back at the
Yeah.
camera?
now. Derek's got a tampon in his nose
No,
right now.
it's just a Kleenex. I'm sorry. My nose is leaking like a faucet or like a tampon vagina. What? I don't know. Where's Chris? Sorry, you guys.
But yeah, I feel like they're trending in the direction of Abraham being gone because they're kind of having his story go to close.
I disagree.
I do too. I don't
I'm
think
going with
it's-
I'm going with Eugene because I feel like there's been a lot of foreshadowing clips in the show with Eugene, like when there was a walker on the train tracks in the last episode. They panned out, and then when Eugene walked by, they panned in only to Eugene. Abraham was walking with them. So if you ever pay attention to some of the Easter eggs that they give away, the clues, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
for foreshadowing, I would say that Eugene could be one. He's kind of one on the cusp. But I still say that we're either going to lose Daryl or Carol in the finale.
Carol's gone. I think.
Carol, okay, this
This
is my beef on Carol. This is why I want to do this segment is right here because of Carol.
Where's badass Carol?
Carol, her character now is
Dry.
just gotten so stale. It's gotten just to the point of okay, you've taken a character that was nothing at the beginning,
Yeah.
and you made her into this iconic big
Bang.
character,
Yep.
one of the top 3 characters, right next to Rick and Daryl.
Daryl.
And now you've made her just
A
there.
smoking mother.
And now you make her just there. She's
Pathetic.
very boring.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't. She's no longer relatable
Yep.
to you. You can't relate to her in any way.
She's a mother. She's just
don't-
another mother.
I don't like where they're going with her.
And now she's running
Now
away.
she's on the lam.
What's
and
that?
now that and this is
and
the
everyone's
second-
going to
This
chase
is
after
this
her,
is, and you're right,
you know?
Danny. This isn't the first time she's gone on the lam.
Yeah, I know.
So it's time.
Well, last season, the finale, she was
And-
kind of gone. Then she came
and I
back
know
to help.
A
or
lot of
whatever.
people aren't going to like this, but you need to kill Carol off.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
I'm more agreeing with that than Daryl. I don't think Daryl's time should
Daryl's
be up
time's
yet.
not yet to be killed off.
But you can do whatever you want with Daryl because he was never in the comics series.
If you're gonna have Daryl killed off or Rick killed off, and I know people are gonna get stale with both of them eventually.
Yeah.
And I'm the same guy. I like, but they need to be killed off correctly and by the correct person. Now, if you're gonna kill off Daryl or Rick, Daryl needs to become first. You need to damage Rick.
kind of like what you did with Carl. maybe lose a body part, make him look a little bit more
if you read the
badass.
comic books,
His hand.
Rick loses
His
an arm.
hand, yeah.
Yeah, hand.
Which we thought was going to happen, right? Remember when he
that
got
was
bit
back
in the bus?
Well, in the comics, it was actually what was it? The Whispers,
Yeah.
or whatever that cut off his hand.
Yeah.
So I'm
yeah,
still
they
thinking,
don't go off of that. So who knows?
The comic books and Walking Dead, they think they look at it a little bit and they say, okay, that looks good. Okay, we'll take that.
Well, that's why-
And we're gonna
No, they have
scrap
to
that.
switch up some of it.
And,
You can't
know,
have
it's
it
not
follow
gonna-
it
it's not gonna be
completely.
the same exact
And
thing.
everyone's calling for Glenn, but that's how the comics did it.
Glenn gets his head bashed
you know,
in.
That's how you notice how they were in that sanctuary with all the saviors.
There was
and
a
he
baseball
saw,
bat.
Well, no, he saw the pictures.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
the guys that were brutally murdered by.
But
the
there was
bat.
also
Looked
a
like-
baseball bat laying around
Oh,
in one
yeah,
episode.
that was later in the other episodes, but they're kind of foreshadowing him. But I
Yeah.
think they're doing that to throw off the audience.
They are.
I
It's
think
a
it's
lot of
farther from the
teasing.
truth. You can't have Glenn have a near-death experience in the season, like you thought he was dead, I guess, and then have him die in the finale. That would be dumb. I would be upset with that ending.
Well,
myself.
I don't think Glenn's eventually gonna get killed off.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I
You
don't
ca-
think it's going to happen this season because, like Steve said,
True love.
I don't think that would be a great idea. I think you got to make sure that it's impactful and that there's something that you can build around that. Do you want to have Maggie have the baby, or do you want to have Maggie?
We don't have
off?
enough. We don't have enough room in this damn apocalypse for 2 kids. You know.
It just sounds fishy. I don't.
There's been-
somehow or another. I don't see Maggie living as much as I
That's
like.
been true, too.
I like Lauren Cohan. I like the actress, and I like what she's done for the character. But I don't see Maggie having this baby
Well,
somehow or another.
if you choose to follow the comic book series to the T, Maggie actually becomes the leader of Hilltop. She becomes like the president of Hilltop. So,
We could all speculate, but
Yeah.
we won't know until these final 2 episodes.
which I guess we could segue into very briefly wrestling because
Chris is on the line.
Yeah, Chris
Play
is-
his song.
oh,
You don't have it queued up.
yeah, I
do you?
do.
No
yeah, I
song.
do.
Wait, hold on, Chris.
What the hell is this?
No, it's a commercial.
Oh,
Chris doesn't get.
Chris, hold on.
Hold on, Chris.
Hold on, Chris. No!
Hold on, Chris.
What is going on?
What the hell?
Hello. Oh, Danny's
I thought
mocking
we
it.
agreed I wanted Shane O'Mac.
Oh, yeah, he wanted Shane.
Oh,
I can't wait to
dear.
watch Shane get destroyed.
Here comes the money.
Also, I'm glad I called in at a good time because you guys were talking about The Walking Dead and it was boring me.
Oh, jeez.
No, I know you had to speed up the show. Here you go, Chris. He's gonna pick up the show.
Here comes the money, 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 money,
He's gonna get wrecked. Undertaker's gonna bench his ass off the cage.
Shane's not taking a ride off the cage.
Well, what I was talking
No.
about when I said we were segueing from Walking Dead into WWE is that the finale of The Walking Dead falls on the night of WrestleMania. And Danny is playing footsies with me currently.
Move your foot, Derek.
Why?
Wait, where's Tim Allen when you need him?
Wait.
Oh, Derek.
Well, Chris, what did you have to say there?
Oh, my Lanta.
Sorry.
All right. Jesus Christ.
Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker.
The jokes.
Stop it, you son of a bitch.
Is Caitlin there with you by any chance? I'm just curious.
I'm in my own room trying to talk to you guys. I keep hearing Tim Allen, man.
Oh, by the way, he never called in. That
No, he did.
Dick.
So, on behalf of Poppy's friend,
we'll have to message him. That was all for him. It worked out to work with the whole show.
Can you do it like 5 times in a row? That'd be funny.
How about this instead? Instead of doing the uhs, we'll do something a little bit different.
Possibly from the Big Baboon.
Yeah, that's a tribute to Tim the Toolman Taylor.
That was a great show.
Yeah.
Goodness. I have not seen that in a long time.
I have
Oh,
a heart
yeah.
attack.
What?
He's having a heart attack. Call 911. Oh, wait. We're trying to call 911, but all we get is a dial tone. I don't know what's going on.
Hello, 911. Where's your emergency? Chris, suck it up.
What the hell is going on your guys' show, man?
That sounds like Chris.
All right,
Oh,
Chris.
man.
All right, what were we talking about?
We're talking about wrestling, I
WrestleMania
thought?
and WrestleMania and the Walking Dead season finales, the final show of Walking Dead with WrestleMania.
Well, now I was trying to kind of go back and remember last year when I had my party. I know that last year, Chris, you were over, and Justin and his dad are over, and Steve wasn't there. And I was like, oh, shit, the Walking Dead finale was the same as WrestleMania last year. So what horrible timing, but I know Steve,
always is, yeah.
Steve is
WrestleMania-
choosing. Steve has made his decision. He is choosing the Walking Dead
The verdict's
finale.
in.
Yep, over
No one
WrestleMania.
cares.
Sorry, but I can DVR the Walking Dead.
No one cares.
Danny and I will watch it together.
What are your predictions for the show?
for Walking Dead or for
No,
Raw?
not we all know Daryl's going to die in Walking Dead. What about you guys?
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Oh, WrestleMania now. Well, The Undertaker. We're just going to touch on the Undertaker, Shane McMahon.
Let's
match,
just touch on it.
That's all that everybody
Yeah.
cares about. They just dropped kind of a little bit of a bombshell.
Why
Vince
are
McMahon
they
on Raw.
hyping this as the main event? Is what I want to. Is what I
It
want
could be the Undertaker's last match, but he said
can't
something.
oppose this. Now, this is never bigger than a title. This is not bigger than. As much as we don't like Roman Reigns versus Triple H, you can't.
You always are supposed to push the title.
match has to be the final match of the night. As great as the Undertaker is, and as much as his legacy is, you can't have that overpower the whole title situation. As much as the Roman Reigns is not liked, or is WWE trying to throw you a curveball with that and say, okay, we're going to have the title go on second to last.
Well, you can kind of go back to a few years ago. I believe it was WrestleMania 25 when Undertaker and Shawn Michaels had that epic battle. I think it was 25. And I think
Steals the show.
That stole the show. Nobody expected it to happen. It went on before Triple H and Randy Orton, and the crowd was dead. That was your main event. Do you remember that?
So what if Shane McMahon versus the Undertaker match is absolute garbanzo beans? What if it's nothing to write home about? What if it's
Well, they'll add people in it. You
There's
know
going to
there's
be
going to be
run-ins.
yeah. They'll make it entertaining. You know it won't be.
Well, I'm kind of glad that that Vince, when he made that announcement, which the announcement to those that don't know was
Bye
on
bye,
Raw.
Chris.
Did
Can we
Chris-
get a?
Wait, did Chris really go?
Yeah.
yeah, he hung up.
Oh shit.
But the biggest concern is how is this match going to play out? As WWE, there's so many dirt sheets that are calling that Shane's going to win this match.
And I'd be okay with that, but at the same time, it's like, if this is going to be Undertaker's last WrestleMania, now Vince never made that clear. He said that if Shane wins, this is Undertaker's last WrestleMania. He could still compete. They didn't say retirement, anything like that, but I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with Taker losing, but at the same time, it's like, if this is the last WrestleMania, do you want to have that on your record, to losing to Shane McMahon, not an accomplished wrestler?
No,
Might look bad.
Who says he's going to lose?
I think he will.
it's difficult.
They're
to
stacking
really
all the
decide.
odds. They're stacking all the odds up against Shane, but at the same time, they're also Vince kind of evened the deck a little bit by making this big announcement on Raw. I'm glad that it wasn't a special referee. I'm glad that it's going to be that.
That could be forthcoming.
No, they're going to save that for the title match. That's going to be Shawn Michaels. Almost guaranteed it will be. I think there's going to be a run-in. I've been hearing the Mean Street Posse, possibly. Wouldn't that be something? Steve probably don't know who they are, but
That's
the Mean
the
Street,
Attitude Era.
That's Shane McMahon's real-life friends from high school. They were brought in back in the Attitude Era, and I think that there's a chance that they might actually make an appearance, but that's slim.